Hello, my name is Nigel Inish, and today I will be presenting my third major project in computer-assisted decision-making course using the Access Microsoft program. First, I will talk a little bit of my website where the documents can be downloaded for viewing and the location of my video. So here's my website, nigelinish.website.com. And under the computer assisted tab, you'll see at the bottom of my previous assignments. So here it is. So access the file database. You can get the document from this link, and also the Excel program of my tables from the database that I use. And then finally, when I'm done, I'll put my major project video for the website right here. The very first thing before starting the Access program is to look for a data to use to make your tables. If I'll explain how I got the data from for this project. The data I used was provided by our teacher for one of the superstore stores online to create my own table or database from the Excel file. I have to use some of the data in from the superstore Excel file, such as the ones that I use were customer's ID, customer's name, sales, category, product ID, sales, and profit to make my a customer purchase data table. And I use the 20 entries out of I think there's like 9,000 data from the Superstore Excel file. And some of them I have like twice because they ordered the different kind of furniture. And for my employee information and sales data table, I use the same fields from the Superstore on customer fee ID, customer's name, sales, and profit. Because of why I need to make some connection between the two tables that I created, customer and employee database. So I could make a connection, uh, connection between the two tables when I use the Access program. For my employee name, where I got the names were from one of the TV shows, Money Heist. And for the employee address, I had to make up my own address, obviously using the Quebec street names and for the postal code like QC, like Quebec, for and different area codes. For the employee names, like they have like this, the information has to be all the same because they have two clients or they made two sales That's why the sales numbers and profits are different. And after creating these tables, then it's time to work with the Excel file, Excel program. The first thing that I did was I had to import my Excel files into my Access a program. After I imported the two tables, then it's time to create the queries. I use the tables that from the Excel files and select the fields to show the titles or categories of the tables and the queries. Once the queries have been created, now it's time to move on to creating the forms. Creating the forms. The first form that I created was the customer purchase data, where I want all the fields from the query to show on the Access documents, such as customer ID, customer's name, product ID, category, and subcategory, and product name, sales, and profit for each of the 20 records from the table on the customer purchase data. Also adding the title on the form and the date as well. And I also changed the background color and modified the labels to make the form presentable and readable. Resizing the table labels, formatting the fonts, choosing the colors, making it bold, and but for the employee information and sales data form, I use the query that I made, the query database from the employee database. And then I added the employee's name, the address, city, postcode, telephone, their sales, and profit. Because I need to record the how much sales they made and how much profit they had generated for the company. And then I added the subform where did, like, how much would did they got from that from the customer. So I had to add the customer ID, customer name, sales, and profit, and then the numbers. Because each they made 2 transactions, so they had like 2 subforms in different numbers. And I also added the logo of the company. I used the picture of my hometown flag, Kawajimas. And I also added on the subform to make it just to have like a to show that that I can personalize the form on any way I like. And then I use the same techniques from the first form when modifying the form, the fonts, and change the way the labels look like the special effects of the label. I also the reason why I forgot the reason why I use these customers name and the ID and the sales and profit is to make a connection between the two queries of the data that I created earlier, these two. And then after I created the data the forms, now it's time to create the reports. When I created the report, I used the data from the purchase data tables. I learned to group the sales into the customer's name and the customer's ID and what purchases that they made, and the title and the title, the sales and the profit. And I added a label that calculates the difference between how much are the operating expense or other expenses, not operating, other expenses, yeah. And then I also added let's go to the bottom, the total sales that the customer made and the total profit the customer have generated out of the 20 clients. For the employee report, well, my title was Employee Information and Sales Report, and with the logo of this to make it look like same as my form, so it wouldn't confuse my customers or my employees, let's say, or me. So for what I did was I put the employee's name and their address, their city, postal code, and telephone, all the information at the top. And then in the middle, I put in the customer's ID and how much the sales that the customer did, the sales that the customer made or purchases, and then the profit, how much the company loses or gain. And then at the bottom, not the bottom, at the bottom of the employee information, I added the account record, the total number that the employee made, and also the subtotal of the employee sales and employees profit. And at the bottom of the report of after all the 20 transactions or records, I added the total sales and how much profit the employee made for the company. And I got to learn how to add the text box and modifying the buttons and adding new fields within new data table and working with the property sheets on the design view where I can change the format of the fonts, borders, buttons, sources, special effects, and adding the dates and the page numbers from, from the from what I learned from the previous access modules. Yeah, so thanks again for watching and listening to my video about explain what I did when working with the access program for my third major project. Thank you.